Hello, everybody. My name is Trent. I'm sitting here with Betsy yet again.
Hello.
It is Never Seen It, and we are here for our third entry in the Stripper Sunday series of movies that we're doing for the month of March, at least for the last part of March anyway, after the Oscars. Because, of course, why would we cover anything other than stripper movies after, the glitz and glamour of Oscar?
If only we had more stripper movies, we'd just make it a whole stripper movie podcast. That's all we're doing.
We would just do that forever.
Moving forward.
And as we announced in our last episode, we're today covering the 2019 movie Hustlers. Now, Betsy, I know very little about this movie. We have not seen it yet. But why don't you tell the people what you know about this?
So the star of this movie is the one, the only, J-Lo, or as you may also know her, Jennifer Lopez. She is the star of this movie and by all accounts was robbed of an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, much like Toni Collette was seemingly robbed from her performance in Hereditary, whereas that's a horror movie, this is a stripper movie, so I can see why maybe people are not going to be falling over themselves to nominate Jennifer Lopez for a movie like this.
Yeah, the Academy has a problem with genre movies. And, this is a movie about a bunch of strippers who I think, as I understand it, use their skills as strippers to start robbing people.
Yeah, they're starting a swindling operation.
Like they take their credit cards and overcharge them or they pick their pockets. I'm not entirely sure. I just know they're a bunch of strippers. It's a whole lot of them and they're all in on this racket.
Yeah, and I think this is also like a high-end kind of a strip joint.
Oh, these are classy broads.
Right.
And they have high-class clientele.
Yeah, the clientele is going to be of the richer variety, so maybe they have the ability to, swindle a lot more money than they would at any other dime store stripper club.
I think this is like a New York Wall Street kind of strip joint.
Okay.
Because that's what I remember. It's been 5 years since this movie came out.
I have a question, though.
Yeah.
Isn't this based on a true story?
Maybe?
I think it might be.
Question mark?
I mean, it makes sense that it would happen.
It's been a hot minute since this movie came out, so I'm not as familiar with all the interviews and the stories that were out at the time that this was released.
Yeah, and at the time, there was a lot of buzz around it. People were talking about it on Twitter and everything else. The buzz around Jennifer Lopez was palpable. But of course, I think this is also a movie that came out early on in the year, so people kind of forgot about it.
It's kind of something that has been changing, I feel like, in the last few years. Like if the performance is a real powerhouse, it manages to survive through the year. But when you put out a movie like this earlier in the year, which I assume is what happened, I can't confirm.
I think it was, yeah.
It's easy, like you said, to kind of move on and forget about it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's any less worthy of a nomination. So there was a lot of people. I'd have to go look at the lineup to see who actually got nominated. But I know many people wanted J-Lo in the bunch.
Which is strange because I'm trying to think of a lot of other movies that I've seen her in. But nothing really comes to mind where she is just, hey, she's a powerhouse actress. Nothing against her, but she's also put out a lot of stinkers.
You've just seen a lot of the movies where it's like what she is doing on this is acting, but it is not Oscar caliber work.
You can call that acting if you want. All right. Well, that's pretty much all we know about this. So we're going to go watch Hustlers. We'll be right back. And we are back from watching Hustlers. Betsy, what the hell?
Is that the question?
I don't know. Betsy, what'd you think of Hustlers?
This is good. I don't know if I loved this one. Like, it's not a bad movie, but it wasn't really, grabbing me in any special way. I was enjoying it, though.
Yeah, there are moments here that are really, really well done, but I'll tell you this, the real weakness of this movie is its length. Man, this could have been a lot shorter.
It didn't feel long while watching it, but I was finding myself going, where's this going? Are we done yet? How do we wrap this one up?
I felt like there just wasn't any like really building tension. Like they just keep on doing the same things. And yeah, they're upping the ante a little bit here and there. But like you said, where is this going? Why aren't you going back and forth to the interview? Why aren't you showing me more of what's happening in present day? I just didn't understand like the pacing of the entire thing.
Yeah, the going to the future where she's being interviewed and she's talking about what happened and we don't know what happened. It's like, oh, okay, so we're in the future now.
Right.
How did we get here? What happened that got us to this point? But then before they conclusively tell you that, they jump beyond it. So then we're like even farther in the future. But so they play around with the timeline a couple of times. And a few times it's really effective because you were like just a second ahead when you're thinking contextually about the time and place that we are in.
Mm-hmm.
But then other times I'm like, wait, we're in the future, but wait, we didn't resolve that thing. And now we're farther in the future. Now we have to go back. And yeah, like I said, I didn't hate it. I liked this movie. I think it's a good movie. I think it's worth seeing, but it wasn't grabbing me immediately.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh my God, this movie's incredible.
Yeah, if you didn't already know that this is, a bunch of women coming together to scam a bunch of rich men, then maybe you would have gotten a little bit more out of it. And maybe if you would have shown more of the men being bad, then maybe you would have gotten a kick out of the fact that they're getting scammed. I don't know.
Yeah, we're definitely supposed to root for these ladies, but also there isn't any moral compass telling us you shouldn't be rooting for these ladies.
Yeah, because they keep on pushing that line up until you get to the druggings. And then it's like, oh, you're just going all the way there, aren't you? And at that point, there's really nobody to root for. Like, we have Constance Wu, the Destiny character, in the future telling her story to this, what I assumed to be a journalist when we were first introduced to her, which is true. You would think that, okay, this person was wronged somehow and she wasn't involved and she didn't want to do any of this stuff, but she was just as guilty as everybody else. She just didn't want, she developed a conscience by the end.
Yeah, she's definitely the emotional core of the story because they show her. She's the first person on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought it was Constance Wu. I knew there were other people who I recognized in this movie, but when we did the intro, I'm like, it's been 5 years. I can't remember who's in this.
Yeah, like the big star is, of course, Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
And that's what the conversation was anyway.
But she is not the lead of the movie. Constance Wu is the main character. And she is the one we are introduced to. And she is there like, I don't know that it's her first night, but it's certainly early on in her tenure as a stripper at this club.
Right.
And so she is shown as not being very good at this. She's not making that much money.
Well,
and
they do say that she is the new person, the new girl.
And she sees Ramona, who is, the goddess.
Right. Like you see the first time she goes up on stage, men are just throwing money on the stage. And by the end of her dance, the entire floor is covered in dollars.
So Constance Wu sees this and goes, that's what I need.
I need some of that.
I need some of that energy. And that was one of the touches in this movie that's incredible is none of these girls take their clothes off.
No.
The whole movie, the main group of people.
None of the women who are the stars here or even the supporting players, none of them get naked. All of the other stripper movies that we are seeing, people get naked. Demi Moore was very naked, and all of the men in the Full Monty were very naked at the end.
Or if they do, you don't see anything. And imagine having the strength that Ramona has, that she goes up there when we are introduced to Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
She goes out in a one piece and she is on that pole doing some insane maneuvers at 50 years old. I don't think her character's supposed to be 50, but she's
at least the veteran.
She has such power over that room that they are showering her with dollar bills and she doesn't show them anything.
It helps that she chooses the right song too.
She definitely
fucking
did.
Fiona Apple.
Yes.
Oh my God. We love that song.
But what an introduction.
Yeah.
Like she comes out there, we're playing a classic 90s jam. She does not take off one stitch of clothing and she walks away, struts away with an armful of cash. And all she says is, doesn't money make you horny?
Oh yeah, baby.
Come on now. Who wouldn't look at her and go, who wouldn't look at her and go, that?
Yeah, I want that.
I want that.
But of course, the scene that follows that is her on the fucking top of the roof, smoking a cigarette, wearing this like $100,000 fur.
In her one piece and a fur coat,
right,
and her 6-inch stripper heels.
Yeah, legs just sprawled out there. Oh my God. What a shot.
Yeah. So Jennifer Lopez, I get it.
Good on you.
Like all of these people saying, okay, she should have been nominated. For the first part of the movie, I didn't quite get that. I wasn't understanding the fervor for that argument because she is doing what Jennifer Lopez does when she is on screen.
There's nothing special about it.
No, she's very charismatic. She is completely capturing you every time she's on screen.
But by the end, I am totally buying this entire act. Not only her being this boss-ass stripper, but also the mama bear of this entire group.
She genuinely cares about these girls.
Yeah.
And she gives that speech about nobody's going to get hurt, but we got to take care of us.
Right.
So by the end of it, I'm like, okay, yeah, once she gets really deep into this con job that they're pulling, and once she starts getting a little too invested and a little bit reckless, I'm like, shit, yeah, she gets really intense through a couple of scenes. Like you said, they're really painting her like a bitch.
Well, no, they're painting her like a villain.
A villain, okay. But there are some moments where she's like, hang up the phone. You know, these guys deserve it.
Right. If they come to the club, they deserve what they get, essentially.
If we don't do it, someone else will. There's a justification for everything with her.
She keeps making the excuses that, okay, what we're doing is not so bad. We could be doing a lot worse. We could be, I mean, they don't say it, but like we could be roughing the guys up. We could be fucking killing them as far as people know. But really it is, they're counting on the shame of the men not reporting them, because if they report them, that means that they probably also have to, you know, say something to their spouse or their girlfriend or somebody.
In some cases, their boss and employers.
Right, if they take their corporate card, which they do. I mean, that's the thing. They target these businessmen because clearly they have money. And if they're coming in there with, like, by the end, if they're wearing a nice suit, they're wearing nice shoes, they have a nice watch, they have a nice wedding ring.
You're looking for the signs.
Yeah, clearly these guys are successful in some fashion, so they make for easy marks.
And Ramona has some interesting moral values. I think that's why she's an interesting character, is where she draws the line for right and wrong. It's not typical of most female characters in the movie. Like, she's got a daughter and she's very big on like her sisterhood.
Yeah, because there's also the conversation of her and Constance saying, we don't want to rely on anybody else but ourselves.
Yeah, she's a survivalist.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the men that they're doing this to, like I said, if we don't do it, someone else is going to. And at the very end of the movie, she says, this is America. Like, somebody is always playing somebody. So why not let me get mine?
Yeah, she is justifying and minimizing everything that she's doing. And even like after the big crash, which I want to talk about, after the big stock market crash, when these two ladies come back together, the new scam is going after people who are still working on Wall Street, and she says, well, these motherfuckers, they're out there stealing from people. This is stolen money when they're throwing it at us in the club. That's all that money should have gone for firefighters and shit like that.
Yeah. Rob from the rich and give to ourselves.
Yes, that is the justification for them doing it and continuing to do it. Because at some point you would think, okay, you've been doing this for how many years now? And how many men have you swindled? What's enough? I understand that you live in New York City and you have expensive taste, but at some point, what's the number that you can reach that you can just stop?
Well, and that's the argument that Constance Wu makes.
Yeah.
She says, I kept going along with this even when I thought we were going too far, because I thought one more, but what's enough? You're right. Like, where do you possibly stop? Once you've grown accustomed to this lifestyle and this way of spending and living, like, it's really hard to backtrack. And it kind of seems like they let her get away with some stuff, because by the end of the movie, Dorothy, now Destiny, is still living in a pretty nice house. And she looks like a classy lady. And she took the deal so that she wouldn't serve any time.
Right.
but it doesn't seem like they bankrupted her or took her funds or anything.
Oh, no.
So I'm questioning what exactly her punishment was that she was able to just continue to enjoy this lifestyle.
I feel like she probably just stopped spending so much, and she brought her like level of lifestyle down so that she could continue to support herself on what she still had.
But that's what I'm saying. If they have convicted you or they are about to convict you of this felony,
right?
And they know that the felony is larceny, that means that money isn't yours. Is it because they just can't prove it, so they can't do anything to take it? Like she maybe had to pay a hefty fine and that's all?
That's the other thing. If there are no victims that come forward,
or not enough,
how can you justify taking all of that? Because if there are victims, you have to quantify it. In these cases, if the victims only say, yeah, they stole 50 grand, well, then that's all it is.
You owe me 50 grand. You pay me 50 grand and call it a day.
And then you pay some maybe fines. If you're actually convicted, you go to trial and they find you guilty.
But
in this case, they probably said part of your deal is, okay, we won't repossess your house or shit like that.
Like in her agreement, her plea bargain, some of it was you have to pay back the money you stole. But I suppose you're right, because only 2 guys, it seems like, came forward and said, I got swindled. I got taken by these women, one of whom apparently it happened to multiple times because he's real dumb.
I like the fact that the cops start talking about it too at the end. Like a couple of the guys say, yeah, we stopped going to the club after we found out about this because we don't want to get swindled too.
We had been customers there also.
Right.
Yeah, it's painting it as a place where this is just where guys in New York used to hang out.
Yeah.
Like your problem with striptease was it was a trash establishment. This is a classy joint trend.
Right. And this, again, I said it in the intro. I thought this was based on a true story, and it was. The name of the place is Scores. Have you heard of the club Scores in New York? That was a real place. I don't know if it is still, but I remember Howard Stern talking about Scores.
He sounds like the kind of guy that would talk about a strip club.
Yes, and that name is resonant to me because I've heard him talk about that, and I know that was the quote-unquote classier joint, at least as a place that, richer guys would go to, maybe.
They did in 2007 anyway.
Yeah.
Up until you pointed out some timeline things here.
Yep, because they kept on talking about, a bunch of Wall Street guys are coming in here because they have all this money and clearly they have no other better way to spend their money.
And life is good and they keep coming in and we're taking all that money from them.
I called it. Oh man, there's the crash coming up. End of 2008, that's when it's going to happen. And sure enough, that's what happened. Seems like about half of the girls that were working there basically had to get a different job. And when we finally go back there, the place is halfway empty.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's because guys do not want to spend their money, or there just isn't as much money anyway as what they were doing before.
There's not enough business to go around.
Yeah.
So they don't need so many dancers.
I wonder, so this is another thing we noticed at the beginning. Adam McKay was one of his production companies producing this.
Him and Will Ferrell.
Coming back together, apparently. They've been on the outs for a long time.
Well, this might have been right before that then. This is 2019.
It's true. But still, I wonder if the reason why they were involved is because of the crash, because Adam McKay did The Big Short and was very much involved in finding things out about that. Maybe he really wanted to tell the story.
There were some elements about strippers in that movie.
That's right. There's a stripper down in Florida they talked to saying, I have 5 houses and a condo.
All your mortgages? I have 5 houses.
And a condo.
Yeah. Imagine doing this kind of thing for a living and making that kind of money. I will never, ever judge people who are successful in this line of work because more power to you, sister. Like if you can get up there and make that kind of money in a single night, and you can
convince
live
these men to do this shit.
Yeah, you can live on the fucking Upper East Side in this fancy ass apartment. You get to do things with your life that I will never do. So who the hell am I to judge you? But yeah, the crash affects them just as much as it does anybody, more in a lot of ways. J-Lo ends up working at an Old Navy.
Right.
Talk about a shift change. And her boss is like, I don't care. Is that my kid? You got a problem with your kid?
Yeah.
Not my problem. Work more. Like, if you need more money, work more, not less.
And, he's got a point. He's very much a jerk about it, but yeah, you have to put in the hour. If you have an hourly job, you have to put in the hours in order to make the money.
Which is very different from what she had been doing up until this point.
Right.
But there's a lot of scenes like this in the movie where they demonstrate just how good things are right before things go really badly. Like the last glorious moment that they have as you are telling me, oh shit, it's 2007 and you know what's coming. They're in the club and Usher comes in and all of the strippers in the place get on stage and dance for Usher simultaneously. And he is just flinging dollar bills around and the DJ's playing his music. And Ramona gets right up in his face and says, "What's your name, honey?" My name's Usher. And it's this glorious, wonderful night that they all have. And then cut to September 29th, 2008.
One thing about that Usher moment that I read is that Usher was fully game to do this because clearly he was, because he got into the movie and they used his name and his face. But he went as far as he put on the chains and the jacket and the outfit that he was wearing back in 07, 08 to go to the club.
He dug out his clubbing clothes.
Yes, from that era of Usher. Excuse me, Usher.
Usher.
As long as we're talking about that, I mean, we can talk about the other celebrity cameos that show up in here. First of all, Cardi B.
Yeah, so I did think, I was like, wait, I know there's someone else who's in this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's Cardi B. And Lizzo is in this.
Right, which I did not know.
And they're two of the other strippers in the club. And you were reading, of course, Cardi B was in fact a stripper before she took up music.
Yep.
And the great anecdote is she wanted to show off all her stripper moves, but she had just had a boob job.
Yeah, she had liposuction and a boob job. So the doctor said, you probably shouldn't do that with your stitches, I guess.
Yeah, because you know what? That pole work is not easy.
Oh, no.
Like, there is a reason women have taken up pole dancing as a form of exercise.
Sure.
They show that sequence of Ramona trying to show Destiny some moves. And she's like, okay, you're going to hold it here. You're going to do this. And then grab on with your thighs and then like lay out flat. Like, you have to have some fucking thigh strength.
Well, and she says, well, you have muscle that you don't even know about. Women do.
Yeah, like I said to you, there is a reason women do pole dancing and men do not, because women have thigh strength like you would not believe.
Yeah.
They are built to make babies and birth them. Even if they don't do it, the muscles are still there. It is a fucking impressive sport and art form. And that pole, I actually saw a video a couple years ago when this movie came out. A girl I follow does actually do pole dancing as her exercise. And she challenged herself to learn J-Lo's routine. Now,
oh, wow.
She usually uses a stationary pole, but the pole in this routine is one that actually spins. I don't remember the formal name. There's like 3 degrees of pole dancing. There's the stationary, there's one that spins slow, and there's one that spins really fast. And this is like the middle one. And she usually does like stationary pole. So when she is trying to learn how to do this, she's like, it is fucking hard. Like what J-Lo is doing in this movie, and J-Lo is doing it in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It is hard. She somehow got through it, but in 6-inch stripper heels and you're grabbing on with your thighs, like you can fuck up your legs and all of your muscles. Usually you have to train with like shorts and socks and cover up all the important bits.
Yeah, and when she was like showing the other woman how to do things, yeah, she was wearing shorts.
But I'm talking ones that like cover up your thighs, because you can really damage some stuff.
Oh yeah. And like me thinking of the physics and the logistics of doing that, I think, how are you not like squeaking your skin on that thing and like giving yourself a burn?
Like I said, the pole is moving.
I know.
There is a small movement that the pole does, which is why she's able to spin.
Yeah.
So spin, so fancy. This one's called the Peter Pan. But let's talk about J-Lo being 50 years old doing that. Like Demi Moore in Striptease, J-Lo now is very much a fitness person. And you don't get to look like that at 50 if you are not taking intense care of your body.
One of those things where if you took it up at an early age, you just keep on doing it.
Yeah.
And J-Lo has been doing it since she was a teenager.
She's a dancer.
Yeah.
She's a fitness girl. Like, oh, more power to you, sister. Like, I'm not going to look like that when I'm 50. I'm not going to look remotely that good. One could dream, but no, I don't have J-Lo money.
Right. Or J-Lo time, really.
Or J-Lo time. You know, I've got a little over a decade before I get
Well, you better get
this.
to it, Betsy.
I got to start now.
We can put a stripper pole in here.
I am not getting a stripper pole in this
We
house.
can put it where this podcast table is. There's plenty of room here.
I'm dropping podcasting and taking up pole dancing.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to everybody. I am going to do this podcast solo, and Betsy is going to do something else. But I will say, as long as we're talking about stripping, there was precious little stripping in this Stripper Sunday movie.
Correct.
It was basically just at the beginning when they were establishing, oh, this is the stripper life, which I would want to talk about as well. I keep jumping topics here, but I love at the beginning of the movie where Constance Wu's character is just kind of going through the motions. You're clocking in for work at 5 o'clock. You check out at this time. You go through all your clients throughout the day. You collect your money at the end and you go home.
You pay off that guy. You pay off this guy because they're a couple of assholes.
And it just gives you the slice of life of what it is to work at a place like this, what is expected of you, and the kind of life that you are living. And I like how it just kind of cuts from one guy to the next guy, to the next guy, to the next guy. You're just going through the motions.
It's a job.
Yes, they're treating it like it's a job.
It is a job, and she is just kind of okay at it. She doesn't make a ton of money doing it, which is why when she is asked by Ramona, how are you liking it so far? Because she had worked at another club, but then she moved to the city to work at this nicer club.
Because she heard that, yeah, if you really want to make money, you got to do it in the city.
You got to go over here to do it. And she says, it's okay. It's okay. You know why it's okay? Because she's making $150 a night, and then she has to give some of it to her boss. Then she has to give some of it to the owner. By the end of it, she's got like $75. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, that's like barely minimum wage.
And once she starts getting in with J-Lo, they start getting all these VIPs coming in the back way, and that's when they start talking about, oh, all these Wall Street guys coming in. We got the low-level guys who they don't do anything illegal. Then you got the mid-level guys, and they do just enough illegal stuff to get by. And then you got the CFOs and the CEOs and the hedge fund guys all coming in with money coming out of their ears. And you barely have to do anything, and they empty their pockets.
And this is how you work each of those guys at each of those levels.
Yeah.
And before long, Destiny is getting diamond necklaces and laptops, and there's sugar daddies kind of taking care of them.
Yeah, she starts to really get to know some of these guys, including Betsy. I don't know the actual guy's name, but everybody knows who this guy is.
Well, I don't know if everybody knows, but it's Buzz from Home Alone.
Buzz from Home Alone, amongst other movies. But
all grown up and buying the strippers a laptop.
And then by the end, she's on hard times and she calls him up, and he's moved on. He has a very, very nice house and a family.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go take this phone call downstairs, and the house keeps getting like bigger and bigger. There's a hot tub and a swimming pool and a sauna. Yeah,
right.
So I get why you called him, because he's clearly got some money.
He's got some money.
But his excuse is, well, why didn't you? I wish you'd call me sooner because I have a fiance. I mean, my wife. My fiance became my wife.
Yeah, that's how that works.
And so then once she kind of reconnects with Ramona, they have this new racket because the stripping gig was not as lucrative anymore. So now they start fishing. They call it fishing, where they go to a bar, they find a guy that looks like he's got some money, and then, oh, it's my sister's. And the girls all come together, bring him to the club, and they've made an arrangement with somebody at the club that whatever we can get this guy to spend, you're going to give us a cut, because they're not technically employees of the club anymore.
Right. They're just getting the cut of whatever they're bringing in. But they made a point here at the very beginning of the movie when they're kind of announcing what this strip club's deal is. In 2007, they start accepting credit cards, which is a strange thing to say. But I mean, normally when you think about strip clubs, it's all cash. You know, throwing dollar bills on the stage and putting the cash in the garters. But now we're in the new era, as it were, of a strip club, and you can start taking credit cards, and that's how they really do their scheme.
Well, yeah, you think of cash for the dancers, but you don't think of it at the bar. The bar needs plastic.
Right.
And that's why at these clubs, even not strip clubs, just any club, bottle service is very big because it's like $800 for something you could buy for probably $70 at the grocery store.
Yeah, and it's just a bunch of these fucking assholes who come in there and just start throwing money around like it's nothing.
Yeah. So it's to them a victimless crime because they're like, these guys are shit and they stole from the American people. And so why don't we just take their money from them and then serve ourselves because we got to watch out for me and mine.
I cannot remember where I heard this line, but it's from another movie. And it's something to the effect of, well, their money does better in my pocket because I know how to spend it better.
Yeah. There's a very strong sense at the beginning where Ramona is saying, we're going to drug these guys, but it's totally fine. It's totally fine. And no one's going to get hurt.
And she justifies it by saying, well, yeah, they're putting worse things in their body besides the stuff that we're giving them. So it's fine.
Yeah. The sequence of the two of them trying to figure out the right mix and how to distribute it. It's just like, wow, you two are just drugging yourselves in the kitchen to see how effective this stuff is.
They become chemists and it's a fucking Breaking Bad scenario going on right now. But it's this combination of ketamine and MDMA, which is ecstasy, to make them happy and make them very, I don't know, lucid. I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it doesn't matter the amount they give them because these guys always seem very, very relaxed.
Yeah.
Even the little amount they're giving them seems like it's way too much. But the fact that they are so convinced that nobody's going to get hurt and this is a victimless thing when you're just roofing these guys.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening. They're not taking advantage of their bodies. They're taking advantage of their wallets.
Correct. And it's not until they run into Doug. Like they even say Doug and then they bleep out his last name. So we don't really get the whole scoop there. So that was an interesting little touch. But Doug was this kind of sad guy that they happened upon. And then they just took advantage of him. Like you actually feel bad for Doug because Doug's house burned down and Doug's wife left him and he's got a child with autism. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of things in Doug's life that make you feel sorry for Doug and they did it anyway.
Yeah. Doug was not the stereotypical bad man who goes in there because he wants to see some titties. No, he's having a really, really hard time.
He's having a crisis.
Yeah.
And they took advantage.
He has a job with the corporate card. They maxed out the corporate card. They took his debit card and took all the money out of his account. He can't pay his mortgage. He can't pay whatever organization is taking care of his kid. He is devastated right now. And what else is he going to do? He has no other life but go to the cops.
And he is the only one who is willing to go to the cops because he is that desperate.
Yeah.
He's like, they said, oh, well, guys aren't going to go to the cops because they've been emasculated by these women. They've been outsmarted. And what are you going to do? I went to the strip club and tell your wife you went to the strip club and spent $10,000 on a stripper.
Which I love when they cut to the cop shop and the guy is eating his lunch. Doug calls in and says, I went to the strip club and I got drugged. And as he said, click. But he calls back right away again to say, I got drugged first and then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And it's enough for the cops to actually start an investigation.
Yep.
And because these girls get greedy, they get sloppy, as most criminals do in these situations. And because they get sloppy, one of them rats them out. And she actually goes and works with the cops to record the other girls and get them on record of doing something bad.
Which this is a great way of depicting what's happening here, because in the rest of the movie, we get like this story is being told by Destiny to this reporter, and you don't get anything in the movie that wasn't told to the reporter because you're getting two different sides here. You're getting J-Lo and you're getting Constance Wu. But in this scene, you get the audio recording of what was said on the wire, and it's really muffled like a wire would be.
So yeah, instead of just playing a clean and crisp movie recording, you are actually seeing the clean, crisp video, and the audio is her shitty, like taped wire audio. And so it's crackly and it's muffled. And it took me a second to be like, wait, what's happening here?
Right.
And then I'm like, that's actually kind of brilliant. And I've never seen that in a movie before.
And you also get this one little scene when Constance Wu says, okay, no, I'm not going to talk about Ramona anymore.
To the reporter.
To the reporter. This interview is over. Please leave. She turns off the recorder and then the audio cuts out. And in that regard, the reporter cannot report on whatever it was that was said in that moment. The reporter has to fill in whatever else was there.
Yeah, I thought there was a problem with the sound because she basically cuts the recorder, walks her to the door, and you could see them talking.
Yep.
But then it's not until she closes the door that the sound kicks back in.
It's a great way to do that, but I just wish it happened more often in the movie.
Yeah, they played around a little bit with stuff like that, but they could have done more because what they were doing was interesting. Mm-hmm. But because it only happens those 2 times, it's jarring both times.
Yeah, you immediately think there's something wrong with the movie.
I thought there was a mistake. There was not a mistake.
Right. But looking back on it now, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it was a nice touch. I enjoyed that addition because it's not something I've really seen in movies before.
All right, I think that's a good place where we can take a break. So we'll be right back after this word from our sponsor.
Critics everywhere are raving about patreon.com/neverseenitpod. Superfan Stephanie says, all this for $5 a month? Incredible. Phineas Butterfield of the New England Journal of Medicine calls it available content. Betsy's grandma says, what's a podcast? Don't miss your chance to experience this phenomenon. Join today.
And we are back. The one person we haven't really mentioned yet is Julia Stiles. What's the last thing you saw Julia Stiles in?
I mean, I think she was in the Bourne movie, the last Bourne movie, the recent Bourne movie.
I don't know. I haven't seen those for a long time.
I haven't seen them at all.
The recent ones, I've seen the original trilogy, and that's it.
You've seen more than me. Yeah, she pops up here and there, but it is another person I didn't know who was in this. There's actually some more people we didn't talk about because Keke Palmer is in this as one of the other strippers. Lily Reinhart is in this as one of the other strippers. And those are definitely people that I recognize, but in 2019, I probably didn't know who they were.
Okay. Was Lily the blonde?
Yeah.
God, she looks like Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I could not stop thinking about that.
I think in another world, if Brittany Murphy were still with us, she would be playing mother to Lily Reinhart because the age would pan out.
Wow. Did you actually like the way the movie was structured as far as going back and forth was a little jarring sometimes in time, but did you like the fact that this was presented as just an interview to a journalist?
Yeah, I mean, I followed it. Like I said earlier, it made sense up until we didn't get the resolution and then we jumped forward. So there's like this gap and then we back up again.
Right.
So it was just kind of a weird shift. And the resolution, of course, is it's like a year later, it's after the article has come out, and Destiny calls up Julia Stiles' character and says, what did Ramona say to you about me?
She's been stewing about this because all there was the article, and there wasn't any kind of shit that Ramona was talking about her.
She figured she was going to throw her under the bus or something.
Or like she was really resentful of the fact that she took the deal and ratted out her friends.
Yeah. But what it boils down to is Ramona actually was her friend. And like she doesn't even explicitly say anything about Destiny. The only time she mentions her is she's got a photo of Destiny as a child in her wallet.
Which was a real photo, by the way, of Constance Wu.
That makes sense. And she says, you know, look at this kid, and who would leave that kid? And I like to keep her close. And that's like all she said. She just demonstrated to this journalist that she actually really cared about this person. At no point did she blame her for taking the deal. Yeah. Like she was mad about it. But even at that moment where she says, I took the deal and I did it for my daughter, they hug each other, but then they don't talk anymore. So it's that thing where they keep going back and forth with Destiny really needs this friendship, but Destiny has had a lifetime of people disappointing her. Sure. So she pushes people away. So even in this scenario where she could still be friends with Ramona. She doesn't reach out to her. Instead, she's just crying by herself at home.
And this is not the first time where they're separated for a long period of time.
Like
and
years at a time.
Yeah, when they came back, it's like nothing ever happened.
That's the mark of true friendship, is when you have not seen each other in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's like no time has passed.
And then there you also get the supercut of all of the different moments where Ramona was there for Constance Wu. It is every little moment where she was supportive of her, like going to her grandma's funeral and so many different things where it is just reinforcing the fact that she wasn't a villain. She was your friend the entire time.
And she wasn't just like using you for her schemes.
Right. And there was even a moment there when Dawn was introduced where you thought, oh, she's just been playing me the entire time. She's friendly with this other person. She's going to take her under her wing and she's going to kick me to the curb.
It's that thing you do when your friend has a new friend. You get jealous.
Right.
I do want to say before we get too far removed from this, I think Constance Wu is really good in this movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think she has a lot of range, and she goes from this like meek little girl who doesn't know how to make it in this world to going under Ramona's wing. And then they have this friendship, and then she becomes a mom, and then she changes her entire perspective because she has to do what's right for her daughter. And then she just gets right on board with, I'm going to drug these guys and steal their money.
They're kind of equal partners in this entire scenario. If J-Lo is the CEO, then she's the CFO.
She says that. She's like, I was the CFO of my own company and business was good.
Yeah.
But like when we get to the end, she's like grieving her loss of her friendship. Like she is just crying because she's like, why would Ramona say that about me? It's not coming from a place of betrayal. It's from, I miss my friend and I don't understand how things went down like this.
Yeah. So Stripper Sunday concludes with a movie about friendship. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, a dramedy, a friendship movie, a women empowerment movie, question mark?
I don't know about that.
And larceny.
Grand larceny, Betsy.
What's the difference between larceny and grand larceny? What's the threshold?
I'm probably $1,000, depending on the jurisdiction. I wouldn't know anything about that. Shut up. And with that, I think that's where I'm going to call it a series, Betsy. This has been Stripper Sunday. However, everybody, if you're kind of noticing that we only did 3 episodes this go around, you might be noticing that there's a stripper missing here. There's some stripper movies missing here.
Someone specific that didn't make the cut for this series.
Yeah, and it's maybe a movie in a series of movies that I haven't seen yet. But Betsy, I think we're going to save those for another series, another time, maybe another place.
Another place, you say?
Another place, Betsy, because Stripper Sunday is becoming the season 2 of Box Set over on patreon.com/neverseenitpod. That's right. Starting next month, season 2 of Box Set is going to be all of the Magic Mike trilogy.
We are doing Magic Mike XXL, and of course, Magic Mike's Last Dance. So I've seen 2 of these, not the last one.
Yep.
Trent has seen none of them.
Yep.
I've decided that we're on a roll with the strippers. He needs to see these movies.
I need to see all of the Magic Mikes, not because I need to see Channing Tatum and all the other men glistening in their abs.
You do.
I don't need to see that, but I have heard that Magic Mike, the first one, is actually a really, really good movie and a good story, but with some stripping in there.
So you should come over to patreon.com/neverseenitpod and continue the journey
That's right.
of stripper content with us.
For the next 3 months, Box Set on Patreon will be all 3 Magic Mike movies. So come hang out over there and continue the fun. Before we get out of here, we wanted to read an email that we got from our superfan Stephanie. Of course, neverseenitpod@gmail.com is the email address. We want to hear from you. What do you think about all these fucking stripper movies? And are you excited about Magic Mike? Please say that you are.
I am.
Yeah, I am too. From Stephanie about Oppenheimer. I finished Oppenheimer 30 minutes ago. And by the way, she sent this on Oscar Sunday.
She came down to the literal wire.
Yes. The score, the editing, the acting, directing, writing. Everything about this movie is well crafted. It is so precise and polished. I love the way that they do the separate timelines in black and white versus color. It is so interesting, and I was completely engrossed. Love you guys from Superfan Stephanie. Yes, all of those things are true, which is why it won Best Picture, because it was the best movie.
There are people who have seen that movie so many times in the theater, and I applaud them for taking the time.
I wish I had that time.
Oh, yeah. It's a long one, but it's worth seeing. Everyone should see it at least once.
Absolutely. And I cannot believe that I have not found the time to watch it again, because I'm not allowed to rewatch movies that we're covering for the podcast if it's going to be up for awards.
For Best Picture, anyway. At least before the Oscars. Now you can do what you want.
Now I can, but I still haven't had time.
No, we have to make the time.
Yeah. All right, Betsy has something else here from somebody on the internet.
Yeah, you don't always have to send us an email. You can also send us a message on our social media accounts, just comment on our posts. And we got a comment from my friend Laura about the Full Monty, so still within Stripper Sunday here. And she said, I always feel like this movie should be followed by the movie Calendar Girls. Same vibe, both are so much fun. The Full Monty also has an excellent soundtrack.
It really did.
So Trent, are you familiar with the movie Calendar Girls?
No, I'm not.
So this is another one I think that was late 90s or very early 2000s. It's another one definitely in the same kind of vibe. It's very British, and it is about a group of middle-aged / little old ladies.
Okay.
Who are in this like social group, and every year they do a fundraiser.
I kind of figured it might be a fundraiser.
And this year they wanted to get some money together to get a couch for a waiting room because one of their husbands is going through cancer, and the waiting area, the couch is terrible. So they have this like very teeny tiny goal, but one of them decides we should do a topless calendar of these women, and they're all like in their 40s and 50s and 60s. And I think it's Helen Mirren who is in it. I think that was probably the first thing I saw her in. And it's another one of those just really funny, feel-good movies. So I would absolutely do a double feature of The Full Monty and Calendar Girls. Like, spiritually, they are very similar.
Cool. Well, thanks, Laura, for that note. And thank you, Stephanie, of course, for the email. If you would like to email us, it is neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Blue Sky. All that shit is available if you want to reach out to us that way. Of course, patreon.com/neverseenitpod is where you need to go if you want more content from us. We already mentioned the new season of Box It coming up with Magic Mike. We got the 3 other shows plus the bonus content. Go there if you want to check out what it is. And Betsy, now that Stripper Sunday is over, we got something else coming up in April.
Yeah, new month, new series.
New series. Betsy, we're going back to the well. We're going to be doing another series of cult classic movies. And in this case, all of them are from the 90s. It just kind of worked out like that.
Yeah, so specifically 90s cult classics.
90s cult classics.
Go figure.
We are starting off with one of the last movies that we haven't seen of this director, Paul Verhoeven, you magnificent bastard. We're going to watch your Starship Troopers.
We sure are, Trent.
That is coming up next Sunday on Never Seen It. But until then, my name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll catch you next time on another episode of Never Seen It.
Bye, everyone.